Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit LincolnStars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog expected this morning, and we'll see mainly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Afternoon high should top out around 35. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 23. And tomorrow, most sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Woo, baby. You got to know what that sound is by now.
Stricky's sitting in with us? No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He'd say, there it is.
There it is. Oh, give it to me. It's the Awesome Uncle Kev Show. Austin Norman, Kevin Meyer, Myers Cork and Bottle. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are, since it's New Year's Eve almost, we are going to do a deep dive into everything bubbles.
Cannot wait.
And I'll try not to go too long because I could do like a 2-hour dissertation just on champagne and sparkling wine alone. But
well, here's the thing. Jay's not coming in today. So if you want to do a 1-hour dissertation, we got time. I got nothing on the agenda.
Really?
It's true. Otherwise, I'm just talking about football or whatever.
Well, that's probably inherently more interesting to the people listening.
They've heard plenty of football all day. We haven't heard anything about champagne all day. But speaking of football, we were just robbed of an all-time just Miami Pinstripe Bowl
guffaw
play.
Yeah.
They called it, so Miami has first and 10 at the 25-yard line after the Rutgers kickoff.
After a touchback, yes.
Yeah. And it looks like they fumbled a handoff.
It was
The
a
guy in motion.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a reverse.
Yeah.
And he fumbled the reverse.
Fumbled it, kicked it, picks it up like 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Loses 20.
Yeah, he's running backwards with the ball, goes out of bounds at like the 5-yard line.
And they
all
somehow
for them to
call it
rule
a forward
an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Gosh, it was brutal. You and I are both watching this like, how is it 2nd and 10? It should be 2nd and like 30.
Yeah.
Stupid
But
college football rules getting in the way.
Alas, here we are.
Indeed. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. Every type of meat, every type of cut. Again, Kevin Meyer, Myers Cork and Bottle, with us here. Before we dive into this, good Christmas for you?
Yes, it was nice. We had a successful week at the shop. We had our best Christmas week since before COVID. So thank you to all the ticket listeners for coming in and supporting Myers Cork and Bottle and giving us a chance to serve you and outfit you with some quality wine and beer and spirits gifts. And so we appreciate that very, very much.
Did you have a bestseller?
Gosh, it was kind of weird. It was more of a steady stream than it was like a blockbuster smash.
Okay.
And so I think partially that had to do with the fact that Christmas Eve was on a Sunday.
Sure.
And so it gave people a full week instead of that getting crammed into like 3 days. And so
Was that nicer for you?
Yes, that made my life a little less stressful, a little more manageable. But it was one of those things where it wasn't like we were selling lots of bottles of like Cristal and Dom Perignon and Opus One and all that. It was just more full steady stream of traffic, which to me, I'd rather rely on 20 customers spending $100 a piece than one person spending $2,000.
Sure.
So because you can deal with that if that one person doesn't show up. So it was definitely a good week and had some good quality time with the family too.
Excellent. So glad to hear it. So glad to see Spirits back here in the 93.7 The Ticket Studios as well. We starting with the beer? We starting with the bubbly?
Let's start with the beer because
Okay.
we're just going to give that a quick try. So this is a new beer from White Elm right here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. And they're just calling it their Simple Ale. It's a golden ale meant to be just a beer, nothing crazy. And it's kind of funny how beers have come full circle. For the longest time, there was this one-upsmanship of like who can make the higher ABV, the hoppier, the sweeter stout, the more barrel aged, like almost like drinking dessert. And now we're seeing a scale back from that, where people are making more ales and lagers, and we're seeing, and believe it or not, the fastest growing category in craft beer is the non-alcoholic sector. And so it's just, we're seeing a lot of good craft non-alcoholic beers now too. So this is just a simple ale from White Elm. It's meant to just be a guy's beer. Just, I got done shoveling the walk. I need a beer type of beer. So I can't really say mowing the lawn type of beer, but if it were summertime, it would be that kind of beer.
The first person to mow their snow gets an award from me. But yeah, this is a workman-like beer. This is blue collar. I expected hoppier. It's really not. This is, every man, every day.
Yeah. And, props to them for trying to make something that is sort of less is more. So it's more focused on craft and quality versus like high alcohol or, high gravity or big hops or whatever the case may be. It's just sort of the antithesis of all of that.
I hope all of us listening have had our, first kiss and whatnot. But like, when I think back to like my first beer, I have regrets that it was like, like Coors Light or Bud Light or something. I don't even remember. Like if this would have been my first beer, I would have been drinking beer a lot more regularly.
The
great introductory one.
And that's kind of interesting that you say that, because the first time I drank beer, I didn't really care for it.
Very much so me.
And then, you try it enough times and you develop a taste for it. So I don't know if that would have really been any different, but this would be a beer that if I'm, say, a Busch Light guy and I want to venture into something that's maybe just a little more in depth without going nuts, this would be a great beer to try. And it's called Simple Ale from White Elm. Just a golden ale, and just came out today. We've got some in the mix of 6, and then of course you can buy a 6-pack of it as well.
Excellent. All right. I see you're bursting at the seams. You're ready.
I am ready.
Dissertation. Lay it on us.
Okay. So what we are having is called Roeder Estate Brut. And Roeder is actually a French champagne producer, but this is their venture into Anderson Valley in Mendocino County. But they're making the wine in the traditional champagne method, and that's a process called Méthode Champenoise. Take a sip, let me know what you think, and then we'll move on.
Incredible.
So if you'll notice, the bubbles are very soft. It's not a sharp, steely sort of.
Didn't really pop.
Yeah, it's pillowy is the way I like to describe it. And if you're familiar with a champagne called Cristal, this is who makes Cristal. So that's the Baller champagne. It's $400 a bottle. Like I said, this is their venture into California. And so, what is Champagne? Champagne is a place in northern France where they make sparkling wine. So they've also done a very good job of protecting their proprietary rights. So if it doesn't come from there, we cannot be called champagne. It just simply has to be called sparkling wine.
Best marketers in the world.
The other, now they make sparkling wine in other parts of France, and they can't call that champagne either. They call it Cremant. Why, I'm not really sure, but that is the term for a French sparkling wine that doesn't come from Champagne. Now, true Champagne is only made of 3 different grapes. 2 of them are red. And so
this is not red.
This is not red at all.
No.
And you know why?
Because they don't macerate it very long.
They
right?
don't macerate the skins. Correct. Correct. I taught you well, young Jedi.
Yes.
So one of the grapes is Pinot Noir, which is a streaky favorite. Pinot Noir has a cousin called Pinot Meunier, and that's about the only place that they grow it is in Champagne. There are exceptions to that, but that I would say 99% of the world's Pinot Meunier is grown in the Champagne region. And then the third grape is Chardonnay. And so 2 of them are red, 1 of them are white. And usually a wine that is delineated just brut, which is the level of dryness, is usually about a third, and a third of each type. Now, there's 5 levels of sweetness in Champagne. There's Grand Brut, which is the driest. This is Brut, which is what we're having right now. There's Extra Dry, which is actually not as dry as Brut, and I'll get to that in a second. Then there's Demi-Sec, which means semi-dry, but really is semi-sweet. And then there's Sec, which is sweet. Now, most of the time, you're just going to see the middle 3. You're going to see Brut, Extra Dry, and Demi-Sec. Why did they come up with the term Extra Dry when, number one, that's English and not French? And number 2, it means that it's actually not as dry as Brut. Well, back when the romance of Champagne began to spread throughout Europe, the British royalty commissioned the French to make them champagne. And they basically said, well, how do you like it? And they're like, well, we're British, so we like our sherry dry, and we're very dry sense of humor, and we talk dry, and we're just dry. So they sent them Brut, and it was actually too dry. So they sent it back. And so to appease the British ego, they added a bit of what's called dosage, which is essentially a wine syrup. It's sugar and wine blended together, and created a whole new category of sweetness simply for the British royalty. And they called it Extra Dry to appease their ego, but in actuality, it's not as dry as the Brut.
And it's the middle. It's the 3rd level out of 5?
Exactly, okay. 3rd level out of 5. And so it's just, Brut is dry. Extra Dry actually has a hint of sweetness. Demi-Sec is a little more, and then Sec is kind of more like an Asti Spumante type of thing. And initially, when they make champagnes or sparkling wines, if they're done in the traditional method champenois or champagne method, the wines are still. They don't have bubbles. And a temporary cork is put in the wine, and the bottles are gradually twisted and tilted upside down. And it's because they want the sediment to settle toward the neck of the bottle. And then they'll actually take liquid nitrogen and freeze the neck. They'll remove the temporary cork, allow some of that liquid to escape. That's called disgorgement. So it just gets dumped out because it's carrying the remaining sediment and whatnot with it. Then they'll add what's called dosage, which is essentially, again, a wine syrup. And that reactivates the remaining dormant yeast inside of the bottle. And so it begins to ferment again. However, the CO2 gets trapped in by the new cork. And so it doesn't really create any alcohol, but it creates bubbles. It creates CO2 and it traps it in. So that's why they need that, that mushroom shaped cork, because there's a lot of pressure inside of there because of the trapped CO2. And the wire cage, which is called the muselet.
Muzzle.
Muzzle, exactly. It's a French word for muzzle, just like you would muzzle a dog with. And so basically, then on top of that, they had to change the shape of the bottle and put that indentation in the bottom, and that's called a punt.
Like a punt?
Like a punt, only with a long U.
Okay.
But
Iowa's favorite.
Yeah,
Punt.
exactly. PUNT. And basically what it did was, because back before they had, glass and whatnot, they used ceramics. And there was too much pressure in the bottle, and so it would blow the bottles up. And so
that's so much good wine wasted.
Well, yeah, but so necessity is the form of invention, right? Or mother of invention. And so they found that by indenting the bottom of the bottle, it also created more structural integrity, and so those bottles wouldn't blow up. And then eventually they switched to glass. What's also interesting is that the champagne glassware used to always be the saucer type, and the reason was that Marie Antoinette took a mold of her breast, and that's what they drank champagne out of. And then basically later on, Helen of Troy did the same thing, which made the glass bigger because
Helen of Troy is bigger.
Helen of Troy was bigger, and now pretty much we do these flutes, which is not the same shape. And so anyway,
women have changed apparently.
Apparently, and we don't want to get into that at all. So that was the original champagne glass shape, was because it was shaped of Marie Antoinette's top shelf. Pretty wild, huh?
Wonder if that's why they beheaded her.
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, it could have been a little risque for the time.
Maybe this is really good champagne though. Like I expected it to be a little drier.
It's
even
not,
though it is a brute, on the drier end, I expected
it's not
more of
too
a dry.
dry.
I get that the little bit of that. They didn't add the dosage to this.
They did, yeah.
I get some.
It just gets a little bit.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
The extra dry gets a little bit more. The demi-set gets a little bit more, and hence the level of sweetness. But again, the dryness is offset by the softness of the bubbly. Now, some of these can be really sharp and crystalline, and a lot of people like that. I like a softer style. That's just kind of my thing. Now,
thinking back to went to a couple weddings. One of them was probably not quite as soft as this, but then there was a different wedding I went to where it's definitely that sharp bubble. And I think I'm with you on the softer side is preferable.
The crazy thing about champagne anymore, true champagne, is that, well, let's face it, in French wines, you pay a premium for the history and the prestige of where it comes from.
Sure.
And so most of the time, if it's a true champagne, you're talking a price tag of north of $50. And your most popular ones, like your Veuve Clicquot and your Moet and Chandons, those are $75 and $80 these days. Now your Dom Perignons are getting up into like $350. So, what was crazy is that we weren't able to buy any Dom Perignon in Nebraska from the last time we were able to buy it was December of 2020, right? During COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time we were able to buy it was this fall. So almost 3 years later, couldn't buy a single bottle of Dom Perignon for 3 years. Well, my wholesale cost went to more than what we were charging retail the 2.5, 3 years prior. And so, now they're $350. And so this is a way that you can get a true Methode Champenoise sparkling wine that's delicious, really, really high quality. These are on the shelf for $35. And so while that's not cheap, it is, certainly less expensive in comparison to buying an actual champagne. Now, if you want to go out and do the actual champagne, we've got plenty of those too, in a variety of different brands. But this to me is probably my overall favorite domestic.
It's incredible. Again, I would highly recommend it if you are looking for a bottle to pop it on New Year's. That's going to be Sunday night into Monday?
Sunday night into Monday. Yeah.
Stop by Myers Cork and Bottle. Are you open on the weekend for people to grab this champagne?
Of course. Yeah.
Excellent.
And so the holiday wine sale continues.
Good.
We do have quite a few bubblies on deal. And, if your thing is just like, hey, I'm not really a champagne person. I like to mix orange juice with it and do mimosas. We've got really good Prosecco for $12.
Perfect.
And then if you want to kick it up, we've got a nice French bubbly that isn't champagne for under 20. It's called Blanquette de Lemieux. If you want to get into something a little bit higher end, we've got one out of Sonoma called J. We also have this Roeder Estate. These are at about 35. And then if you want to get into champagne, we've got Moet and Chandon. We've got Veuve Clicquot. We've got Moet Rosé. We've got Pomeré. And then all the way up into Cristal, Dom Perignon, and Ace of Spades if you really want to go nuts.
All at 13th and South here in Lincoln.
Yes, sirree.
Check him out there, Kevin Meyer, Myers Cork and Bottle. belated Merry Christmas, slightly early Happy New Year. Thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Again,
Happy
Kevin,
New Year.
Happy New Year indeed. It's Kevin Meyer, Myers, Cork, and Bottle. We'll take a break, continue with Old School in just a sec.
You're listening to Old School with DP&J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great year to give your family and loved ones the gift of shoes to encourage them to stay active. Fleet Feet Lincoln fits you properly for shoes, and they offer a free group that meets 3 days a week, plus other training programs and a walking group on Mondays. Get healthy, stay healthy with proper shoe wear from Fleet Feet Lincoln and a group of friends that will support you and keep you accountable. Start your health adventure at Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. The holidays are here, and Fairway has everything you need for charcuterie boards, shrimp trays, party platters, wine, beer, spirits, and more. Plus, custom fresh cuts on USDA choice or prime grade beef, all-natural pork, fresh chicken, and seafood. Your holiday meals start at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you gotta come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once again, this is Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket, as well as on theticketfm.com. No Jay Foreman, no DP. You're stuck with me, Austin Orman, here with you. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, as well as on different streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all available for you, as well as Allo Channel 951 if you're an Allo subscriber. Really appreciate our friends at Allo for all they do for us, including sponsoring our VIP line. No guest today. Jay is out, but Allo, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local hearts. We just had Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle in with us for Thirsty Thursday. We do that every Thursday here with Uncle Kev, as we affectionately refer to him as. 4:15, 4:30, somewhere in there. 13th and South Streets. Make sure you swing by and check him out. Again, some great Brut champagne that Kevin and I got to sample. If you're looking to stay home and bring in the new year right, make sure you stop by Meyer's Cork and Bottle, grab some champagne, grab some sparkling wine. If you're a good true American, want to support American brands. We had a question on the text line. Someone can drink anything. When I drink champagne, my face gets red and itchy. Why would that be? Uncle Kev says it might be a sulfite allergy. So if champagne is what gets you, makes you red in the face, check your sulfite. I don't know what that means. Uncle Kev said as well, he's not a doctor. But yeah, if champagne gets you, if any wine or alcohol gets you, check your sulfite levels. Ryan in California, spending my entire life around the wine business. You nailed the history. My father retired with Gallo. My wife works for Michael David out of Lodi, California. Ryan, here's the thing. That's why we bring Kevin in. We love Kevin. We appreciate Kevin. He is our wine, our liquor, our spirits guy. There's a reason he's in every week. Kevin knows his stuff. He's very eloquent. We appreciate him, giving us 15, 20 minutes of his time every week to, really expand our horizons is what he does. He teaches us something basically every week. So we really do appreciate Kevin. Again, if you're looking for something to do at home, if you're looking for champagne or sparkling wine to ring in the new year at home, check out Meyer's Cork and Bottle at 13th and South. But if you're looking to get out, right, you want some fun, you want to be among people, be among a crowd on New Year's, you can ring in the new year by heading down to the Post Bar in Lincoln, located at 20th and N Street in the Telegraph District. You can say farewell to 2023 and hello to 2024 with an incredible lineup of live music, delicious food, and refreshing drinks. You can search The Post Lincoln on Facebook to buy tickets today. The ticket price includes a few things: a midnight champagne toast, food and appetizers, and prizes throughout the night, right? Just buying a ticket, again, gets you a champagne toast. You get food and appetizers and prizes throughout the night. It's the Let's Give 2024 a Shot New Year's Eve party at the Post. Get your tickets online by searching The Post Lincoln on Facebook, located at 20th and N in the Telegraph District. We appreciate the Post. Fun note on that, owned by Jesse Foster. Who is Jesse Foster, you might ask? The father of former Husker football players Gerald and Trey Foster. So if you want to support a Husker-adjacent business, go check out the Post Bar on New Year's Eve. We go back to the text line here, 3994. has a Nebraska men's basketball question. Where is Blaze? Blaze update stat. Is he going to play this year? I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you. 39.94. I don't think Nebraska needs Blaze Keita desperately as long as Rink Mast is healthy. I think we mentioned this earlier today at some point, but it bears repeating for this, 10-2 Nebraska men's basketball team. They head into their final non-conference game of the season. Well, at least until any, postseason play that we're crossing our fingers for Fred Hoiberg and his crew. Their last scheduled non-conference game against South Carolina State tomorrow. Nebraska, absolutely not a dominant team in the post, but you've seen some improved play, especially on the offensive production from Rink Mast from years past. You also see a guy like Josiah Alec playing the 4 to varying success. I don't know where I fall in the Josiah Alec experiment yet, but I do think that him at the 5 with Rink Mast out is better than him at the 4 with Rink Mast in the lineup. Not to distract from the Blaze Keita question, but the fact that I bring those two guys up and talk so much about them is because that if they're healthy and available, I think Nebraska's best lineups don't include Blaze Keita, which is kind of weird to say because this is a guy that was the number 1 recruit out of the JUCO ranks from, I believe, down in Kansas just a couple years ago. It was a big get for Nebraska to convince him to come to Lincoln and play for the Huskers, but not to say that Blaze Keita has been a bad player. He hasn't been available a whole lot. He's had various injuries. I think the ankle was what kept him out last year. Still waiting to figure out exactly what it is and what the extent of the injury is for Blaze Keita this year. I can tell you when I went down to Manhattan, he was on the trip, but he was in street clothes. Didn't suit up for the Huskers. He's been at the home games. He's been present, been walking around. I don't see a noticeable limp, so I don't think it's a lower body injury unless it came before and he's just working his way, back into shape. But Blaze Keita has yet to go through warmups with the team, and I just don't think there's much of a role for Blaze Keita right now. I think that his best role is hold down some floorboards. I think there's an impact player somewhere in Blaze Keita. I just don't know what that looks like. I think that if Blaze Keita were to get on the floor, he would have to drastically improve on defense, be more than just a guy who rotates from block to block. Like Blaze Keita would have to take a huge step forward in terms of his timing and a big step forward in terms of his athleticism to be a true, rim deterrent, to be a true shot blocker. I don't think that's Blaze Keita's game right now, which at 6'11", 235, 240, maybe 250, you need Blaze Keita to beat. Nebraska lacks an interior rim defense presence. If Blaze Keita gets back healthy, gets a little bouncier, and starts denying shots at the rim with authority, there's absolutely a role for him. Nebraska needs that because I think that if he's bouncy enough to protect the rim, he can also be a lob threat in the pick and roll that Nebraska just doesn't really have right now. Juwan Gary, we've seen catch a few alley-oops. I think Bryce Williams can do it. Josiah Alec, we know, can get up and throw down. But Nebraska doesn't have that true 1-5 vertical rim threat. And I don't think Blaze Keita offers that. I don't think he's as good a passer as either Mast or Alec. I don't think he has the post moves that Mast or Alec do. If his best skill is taking charges, I'm sorry, there's just not that much room for a basketball player like that, especially at 6'11", 250. Blaze Keita at 6'11", 250 needs to be a force, plain and simple. When I break into this Blaze Keita conversation to turn your attention to the Pinstripe Bowl, Miami scored a touchdown with 27 seconds to go. They attempt the onside kick, and they recover. They recover the onside kick. Rutgers starting to fall apart. Oh, number 5 for Rutgers on the front line of the hands team. Had it bounce in and out of his hands, right to number 0 on Miami. Rutgers was just centimeters away from icing this Pinstripe Bowl game, but it's Hurricanes ball here with 25 seconds left. They just scored a touchdown on their last drive, so big drama there at New Yankee Stadium in New York City. Back to Nebraska men's basketball. Blaze Keita had promise. I just think that's one that you kind of cut your losses right now. If you get another big body back to help you through the grind of Big Ten play, sure, you take it. You give him 10, 12 minutes a game if he's healthy and able to play. But Blaise Keita doesn't help you slow down Zach Edey. He's not that good a defender. Blaise Keita doesn't help you against like a Coleman Hawkins of Illinois who can stretch the floor. Doesn't really help you against a Cliff Amori who runs faster and is a little bouncier. And he's not an elite rebounder either, right? I think Rink Mast is a better rebounder. Josiah Alec is a better rebounder. Juwan Gary's a better rebounder, even though Blaise Keita is bigger. So do we see Blaise Keita this year? I would lean probably not. If we do, I don't think he makes that big of an impact anyways. So I would say your third big for the foreseeable future for Nebraska men's basketball, Matar Diop, who again, if you see him, tantalizing potential. You see the athleticism, you see the long gangly limbs, a quick second jump as well from Matar Diop. Raw player who needs some time in the lab, who needs some Fred Hoiberg magic sprinkled on him. So I think Nebraska's post rotation will be bouncing back and forth between Josiah Alec and Matar Diop tomorrow. Rink Mast hopefully healthy by the time Indiana comes around on January the 3rd. But I do think Matar Diop is your second or third post option even before Blaise Keita right now. We'll finish out hour one of Old School before we get you a special edition of Inside the Huddle with Jay Foreman. Again, he is out today, but Jay did put together an Inside the Huddle for us. So I'll wrap up hour one of Old School, get you set up for Inside the Huddle after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog expected this morning, and we'll see mainly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Afternoon high should top out around 35. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 23. And tomorrow, most sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run. So like speed option, those things. All you want to do.
Speed. I can't see.
It's also. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill. Come on
Just
now.
calm down.
I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be a
Word
parentheses or
Too many commas over there.
Too many
Zip. Come on.
run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Is your furnace or heat pump ready for winter? Call Bryant to schedule your home heating check. Comfortable, safe, efficient. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just a couple minutes left here on hour one of Old School. I'm Austin Norman. A couple things to get to here. First of all, Rick from Wahoo texted in, good to see Rutgers beating the U in football. That's right, the Scarlet Knights hold on. They do. They get to 7 wins on the season. Big congrats to Greg Schiano and the Scarlet Knights for taking down Miami. It was a 31-17 game. Miami drove basically the length of the field to make it a one-score game. They recovered the onside kick off of Rutgers' hands, but don't seriously threaten to tie the game up after that. So the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, your Pinstripe Bowl champions in a de facto home game for them, that game being played, of course, at Yankee Stadium. Continuing the Blaise Keita discourse here, 9602 is also Team Blaise Keita. He says, Keita was important to the team last year as a defender and rebounder before he was hurt, still has potential. Agree to disagree. He's too old to have potential at this point. Like, I'm sorry, in the college game, he's an older guy. I don't know how much more room for growth there is, especially if he's hurt. Was he important to the team as a defender and rebounder last year? If he was so important, he would have played before Oleg Koyenets. He would have played before Wilhelm Breidenbach, but he didn't, right? I mean, Oleg Koyenets passed him in the rotation. Now, Oleg, fan favorite, like, don't get me wrong, one of Rico's boys, one of Rico's guys. Blaise Keita just didn't make much of an impact. I'm sorry, he just is not that great a defender. The idea of him as a defender, I get, but despite as big as he is, he didn't alter or affect many shots. He wasn't a big enough body to keep guys out of the lane or keep, opposing posts from backing him down. And he didn't deter many opposing guards from coming in the lane either. And in terms of rebounding, I pulled up the game log just to make sure I had my numbers straight. Blaise Keita had double-digit rebounds 3 times last season. He had 12 against Omaha. He had 10 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. He played 27 and 24 minutes in those games, respectively. And then he played double-digit minutes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times throughout the rest of the year. In only one of those games did he have double-digit rebounds. Now, it was a big game. It was Nebraska's game against Wisconsin, where he played 23 minutes, 1 of 2 from the floor, 11 rebounds, 8 of them on defense, 3 of them on offense, also had 2 steals. I'm not saying Blaise Keita is a bum. I'm not saying it's better if he doesn't play. Like, it'd be nice to have another, big, at least somewhat proven body to throw out there for Nebraska. But at the same time, I just don't think Blaze Cade is the difference maker. He doesn't raise the ceiling for this Nebraska team. You wish him the best. I hope for his sake that he gets healthy soon, but I just don't think he would have the impact that some of you do. Virginia Pirate says if he's not right, he doesn't have upside. It also probably makes some sense for him to redshirt at this point. I think that's the way things are heading. An injury redshirt. Maybe he would compete for the starting center job next year with Mast gone. But again, I'm just not a Blaze Cade believer. And I was at one point, right? Like, I've changed my tune. You can go back and find my opinion that getting Blaze Cade was a big deal, but he just hasn't developed. He hasn't turned into anything more than he was at the JUCO level. And you're starting to see, or I guess more accurately, not see that. I'll get out of here. I'll turn it over to the Husker Hall of Famer. Jay Foreman brings you Inside the Huddle next. Jay's on his way to watch some basketball, so this is an edition of Inside the Huddle. So don't go anywhere. You got Inside the Huddle, some college football, some NFL headlines, and more from Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman on the other side.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12-month same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog expected this morning, and we'll see mainly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Afternoon high should top out around 35. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 23. And tomorrow, most sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome to Inside the Huddle, another episode with Jay Foreman. We are brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. They can take care of all your medical imaging needs and then also provide a detailed plan to help alleviate any type of pain that you have. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the NFL or 2024 Hall of Fame class, the modern day area class. We're going to do some bowl wrap up until today, some bowl predictions. And then also I'm going to give some insight what it's like to prepare for a bowl game. I'll just say a regular bowl game versus prepping for a national title. Is it the same? Is it different? I will give you my thoughts and the inside scoop from my experience. And then lastly, the breaking news has been Russell Wilson has been benched. I'm going to provide an inside the huddle advice, what he could have done at the beginning, middle, and the very end, and what possibly Russell Wilson can do moving forward to continue along the path of a Hall of Fame career and but the end on a high note, but then also, have his second chance and go from quote unquote the villain to the hero and right off into the sunset as he so justly deserves. But first and foremost, the 2024 Hall of Fame class was just announced yesterday. And, it's a pretty unique class, and they do a modern day modern day era player, in their finalists and years and teams, and they were announced on NFL Network. And it was highlighted by two guys in their first year of eligibility, which is Antonio Gates and Julius Peppers. Both I played during their time, played against Antonio Gates multiple times, and obviously he was more than deserving of being on the list of Hall of Fame. And I'm assuming that he will get in there, maybe not on his first year, but very soon after. Just go down here as just an alphabetical order. Eric Allen, a really, really good corner that's played for Philly, New Orleans, and Oakland. Underrated, but then obviously very much appreciated in a very good aggressive corner. Jared Allen, sack master, burst on the scene in Kansas City. And then obviously Minnesota took him to a Hall of Fame status, and then he ended up with Chicago and Carolina. Willie Anderson, who was very unique from Auburn, was overlooked and was a stalwart on some Cincinnati teams that weren't very, very good, but he was always an all-pro type of player, a guy that you game plan for. And if it wasn't for like Willie Roaf and Walter Jones, Willie Anderson would be probably in the Hall of Fame right now, but would have been the first guy that would have came out of people's mouths when they're talking about dominant left tackle, big, physical, quick, could definitely pass protect and run block equally as well. Dwight Freeney, obviously a defensive end, a little bit undersized as people thought, when he came out of Syracuse. Then he went to Indianapolis and just set the world on fire. Ended his career 2 years in San Diego and still was very productive there. Not saying just San Diego. He went to Arizona, Atlanta, Detroit, and Seattle. I don't want to shortchange him. Played a very, very long time and was a very, very good player, very productive from the time he stepped on the field in Indianapolis. One guy that I grew to respect and has a great story was Jahari Evans. Didn't play football in high school. I think he went to Hofstra, played 11 years for New Orleans Saints, multiple times All-Pro, multiple times to the Pro Bowl, and then had one last year at Green Bay. He's on the list. I mentioned Antonio Gates before. One guy that I think might get in, and he went from, you talk about go from a villain to a hero, and then now he's on TV, and sometimes he has some takes that makes him be somewhat of a villain, is Rodney Harrison. Played in San Diego with the likes of Junior Seau, obviously one of the greatest linebackers of all time. Felt like he was obviously a perennial All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Played on some bad San Diego teams from an offensive standpoint, but he was always a guy that was very productive, very physical in the run game and the pass game, and very good attacking the ball from a defensive standpoint. Then when he went to New England for those 5 or 6 years, winning a couple Super Bowls, I think that solidified himself as a Hall of Famer. This guy right here, I hope he opens up the floodgates for other guys in as far as special teams return guys. Devin Hester. besides Billy White Shoes Johnson, Dion, Brian Mitchell, and a couple other returners, Devin Hester is the best single punt returner, kick returner of all time. Obviously, people think of Deion Sanders being the most dangerous, but Devin Hester is the best of all time. Played for Chicago Bears when they're in the Super Bowl, started the game off that way, Atlanta, Baltimore, and Seattle, and had a very, very long, illustrious career, 11 years. Hope he gets in, then it opens it up. Next is Torrey Holt, obviously with the St. Louis Rams, and played 1 year with Jacksonville, very productive player. Him and Isaac Bruce on that Rams squad, the greatest show on turf. He was definitely a very, very productive player all throughout his career. The next guy right here who I have a personal experience with, but then, you know, look, he's a dude. And I remember him walking through the gates when I was down in Houston and looking at him, I was like, you know what, that's that's a different dude walking through there. And finally, Charlie Cashley got it right when he drafted guys when we were expansion team. Andre Johnson played with us in Houston for 12 years, and 1 year with the Colts, and then 1 year with Tennessee. His second year on, I hope he gets in. He would be the first of a few to get in, but he definitely deserves to get in. You can't speak about the Houston Texans. You can't speak about the era of when Andre played and not say that he wasn't the best or one of the best during that time. Big receiver, could take a stop route or a slant route to the house. Very, very physical. Andre Johnson, I'm pulling for him to get in. Next is Julius Peppers, one of the best pass rushers of all time. Definitely think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer just because he's so productive and he was, you know, at times unstoppable. And really, it feels like Julius Peppers, even with his last year at Green Bay, he could came back and been very productive. Decided to hang it up, probably just decided he had other stuff to do. He didn't finish at Green Bay. He had 2 very productive years at Carolina at the very end as well. So a little bit of a swan song for him. Fred Taylor, underrated, very, very quiet guy. Played on some Jacksonville teams that were good at the beginning of his career, then kind of, you know, hit a little bit of lull, fought some, you know, injuries throughout his career, but then he was very, very productive, man. You talk about a big back, 225 pounds, who I was able to play against in 1995 in the national championship game. Can take it to the house. He's a guy that when you make a game plan, you weren't, I mean, I guess you worried about him, but you wanted to game plan for him because Fred Taylor is one of the running backs through his explosiveness can control the game. And the reason why I say that is because there's an old adage that you won't lose games by giving up a whole bunch of yards rushing because you're more wary of an explosive pass game. That didn't hold true with Fred Taylor because he was so explosive as far as taking a run 60, 80 yards to the house, being a legit 4.3 flat at 225 pounds with some good moves and physical. He's a guy that is the outlier. That's why I think he's a Hall of Fame player. Reggie Wayne, crazy numbers with Peyton Manning. Obviously played opposite of Marvin Harrison. Definitely deserves it. He will get in, you know, eventually. Patrick Willis, listen, an 8-year career that was flat out unstoppable. I hated to see him retire. Felt like he had a couple more years left in the tank. Definitely a Hall of Fame player. I enjoyed watching him play football all the way from Ole Miss, but then really when he got to San Francisco, a technician, super fast, 4'4" guy, 225, 30 pounds, knock your block off, great in the pass game, great leader. Really, really was a outstanding player. Then the last but not least, Darren Woodson, pretty much one of the first big-time, big safeties, played with Dallas for 12 years. Great player, came in and really solidified Dallas's team in their Super Bowl runs and will eventually get in. Sometimes overlooked because of the big personality, very quiet but very productive player. And he could knock your head off. He could cover you. He could cover slots. He was really, really good of making big plays when they need him. Very dependable player, so he'll eventually get in. So I think overall a really good class, and I don't envy any of the guys that are deciding this because there's so many really, really good players, and you know I think it sometimes it could be hard to decide, okay, when does he get in? Who's the first ballot Hall of Famer, and versus who will eventually get in? And sometimes you could get caught in the wash per se. And, you don't get in, say in 2024, and the next thing you know, you're still waiting in 2028. And so, I think they need to really expand it and then really make sure all these guys get in because there's a ton of guys that or deserve to get in. And primarily you want to make sure the first ballot guys get in, right? So the first ballot guys, the two of them that really, headlining the class is Antonio Gates and Julius Peppers. Antonio Gates is right there as one of the best tight ends of all time. He deserves to get in. Julius Peppers, with the pressure of being the number one pick for Carolina, more than productive, he deserves to get in. He is I would say a decade type player. You can't think about the 10-year span or a 10-year span without mentioning Julius Peppers or Antonio Gates. So I think those are the two slots right there. The next guys I think that get in, I'm hoping Devin Hester gets in because of some of the, everybody else pulling for him, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, so forth and so on. I do think Andre Johnson gets in, be the first one in Houston, Texas, or first Houston, Texas to get in. I will be there. The next guy that I think gets in, Patrick Willis, a super, great human, really, really productive player. I think he gets in. And then there's always the outlier, right? Rodney Harrison will maybe get in the media, so he'd be right there. And maybe Jared Allen with his personality will get in as well. I think that's also bodes well for him to get in. And so, sometimes it's a small class, sometimes it's a big class, and then you just have like who, got the snub. But I think, when all these guys, I could argue that are Hall of Famers, obviously well-established careers, and I hope they all get in. And so I think 5 will get in, 5 legit guys, and then hopefully some of the older guys will get in as well. Obviously, have a little bit more of a close, I guess, relationship with this Hall of Fame thing, just because of my dad, waiting patiently to get in and being one of those guys that somewhat played in a different era, less games, less notoriety, didn't get into the media, and then you kind of get overlooked, and then they could use the stats against you. But he was on some really, really good Vikings teams. But I always go back to the dual threat running back, being a threat, both running the ball and out of the backfield, and being a big back. You can't talk about the era that he played in 72 to 80 without O.J. Simpson, Walter Payton, Chuck Foreman. That's it. I mean, when you think about going into the Super Bowls and John Madden and Chuck Noll and obviously all those guys and Don Shula, the first guy that comes out of their mouth is Chuck Foreman. So when you think about, can you talk about the history of football in that time that you played and who can be in there? And obviously being an all-pro numerous times, rookie of the year, the stats are there and the accolades are there. So hopefully he gets in eventually. I always want to give that shameless plug for him. But I think overall a good class. And, the Hall of Fame I think it's become a little bit more media driven. I think the process is unknown. I think sometimes the people that vote on it, are pushed by either their franchises or, where they have a Super Bowl. So you always look at it like, what team, is up for a Super Bowl eventually, right? Where they will be, or what new franchise or owner is able to kind of get a guy in that they really, really want. And like when you think of all the 49ers that got it deservedly so, when you get pushed by the 49ers, that's how like a Steve Young gets in, maybe a little bit earlier than maybe people, would guess, but definitely deservedly so. And then some guys get overlooked. You think of just a receiver in itself of Torrey Holt's stats, not even in. Darren Woodson, deservedly so, not in. And you think of guys like that are still waiting around, right? Where you think of Darren Woodson as a modern day, applicant, and he stopped playing in 2003. And so you got to think of guys like Torrey Holt. He still played, 2010. Devin Hester played all the way to 2016. So when you're fighting, what I mean is some of these older guys, and if they're not on TV, you can kind of get lost in the wash, right? Because you don't see him. You got to think of a Willie Anderson, right? He's not on TV. Last time he played was 2008 with the Baltimore Ravens. Eric Allen, 2001. That's how you end up having guys a little bit frustrated, get overlooked, and then next thing you know, you kind of miss your opportunity, and now you're waiting 10, 15, 20 years to get into the Hall of Fame, which means a lot, man. There's a lot of things that go into it or that come with it. Obviously, it's the ultimate goal. There is no other team to be on after that. Deion Sanders and multiple guys said they need to have different sections of it. Sure, where Deion and Joe Montana, Tom Brady eventually, Peyton Manning, Lawrence Taylor, those guys, maybe they have their own section, but there's plenty of Hall of Fame players that maybe weren't, generational players, I guess. What I'm saying is in the sense of, there's never going to be another Lawrence Taylor. There's never going to be another Deion. There's never going to be maybe another Tom Brady or Joe Montana or those type of quarterbacks or Peyton Manning. But that doesn't mean like a Drew Brees isn't a Hall of Famer and doesn't deserve to be in. That doesn't mean like a Fred Taylor, because he's not thought of as a Jim Brown, doesn't deserve to be in, or a Devin Hester doesn't deserve to be in because he didn't have receiver numbers. Don't use their greatness and their ability to be multifaceted against them. And so don't pick and choose it. I hope Roger Craig gets in, then that hopefully opens the floodgates for, not only my dad, but a guy like maybe on potentially down the road, like an Eric Metcalf. And so there's plenty of guys that you can think about getting in and should deserve to get in. And it'll be really interesting how they change it or adjust it. I don't think players with bigger egos should decide it, because if Dick Night Train Lane was alive, he would probably say that he was Deion before he was it. You think of Paul Krause, who still has the interception record. He could say he's the best safety of all time. But if you talk to people right now, it's Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, and those type of, and obviously other guys, so forth and so on. So it's where, in your era and who's voting and how they're getting in, I think is huge. And so, it's one of those things I think that needs to be adjusted and addressed. But, this year, I think he's got a really deep class, some really unique personalities, and also will be a really good representation of the NFL and the Hall of Fame, and hopefully a pretty good process where people aren't, too upset. So that's the first segment of Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Go or call, get in to see an appointment with either Dr. Razdan or Dr. Finn. Also, in the new year, 2024, we will be having Dr. Finn and or Dr. Razdan in at least once a month or once every month to discuss injuries that we might see in any sport or potential injuries that might be on the horizon, based on, obviously, like turf conditions or something that might be coming up just based on biomechanics, so forth and so on. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk about the bowl prep, some of the bowl wrap-ups, the scores and highlights, but then also some of the predictions. And then also I'm going to dive into what it's like to prep for a bowl game, and then what maybe else or what's different for prepping for a national title versus a bowl game. Jay Foreman.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
I'm Sergeant Jones with the Nebraska State Patrol. Driving drunk puts everyone on the road at risk. In Nebraska, over 30% of all roadway fatalities occur in alcohol-related crashes, and every one of those could have been prevented. The decision to give your keys to a sober driver could be the decision that prevents a roadway tragedy. Help keep Nebraska roads safe and always drive sober. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Welcome back to Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. This is Jay Foreman again. Before we jump into bowl wrap-up predictions and what it's like to prepare for a bowl game, I want to let you know about what I have planned for New Year's. So ring in the new year by heading down to the Post Bar in Lincoln, located at 20th and N Street in the Telegraph District. Say farewell to 2024 and farewell to 2023 and hello to 2024 with an incredible lineup of live music, delicious food, and refreshing drinks. Search the Post Lincoln on Facebook to buy tickets today. Ticket price includes a midnight champagne toast, food and appetizers, as well as prizes throughout the night. It's Let's Give 2024 a Shot New Year's Eve party at the Post. Get your tickets online by searching the Post Lincoln, located at 20th and N Street. Let me tell you something, that's a really good place. It's owned by Jesse Foster, the father of former Husker football players Gerald and Trey Foster. I went down there and checked it out with my my astute partner at times, Nick Sainert. It's a great place, great atmosphere. And I will tell you about this, Jesse Foster is one classy dude, and it embodies, his personality. So go down there and first of all, get on Facebook and search, get your tickets, and that way you can get in. I'll be down there. I'll peek my head in there on New Year's Eve and, hopefully bring in 2024 with a shot or shots. So anyways, back to Inside the Huddle. Bowl game wrap-ups. One of the games I wanted to really focus on in this, because it has a little bit of Nebraska ties, is the Louisville against USC game. And obviously the reason why is because USC will be in the Big Ten. And obviously with a lot of turnover, you got Caleb Williams sitting out the game, rightfully so. Potentially going to be the number one pick. Lincoln Riley on the hot seat. Would his team come in prepared? Facing a Louisville team that was thought to be fully loaded in the sense of, they have all their players that, they have a full month or so of practice after losing to Florida State, looking for a signature victory for Jeff Brom in his first year to go into the offseason with that positive mindset versus a USC team that has a quarterback that's never played, right? And then also Caleb Nelson, who was the number one overall player last year, is in the portal. So then you think of, okay, well, maybe USC is ripe for the picking. But USC said not so fast, where they had a young, I'll call him a rookie. Miller Moss threw a Holiday Bowl record of 6 touchdown passes in the first college start. And USC, ended a frustrating, year for them, and they beat Louisville 42-28, and it was a pretty impressive victory offensively, or a pretty impressive game offensively for USC. And it was a little bit surprising in the sense of you have a Miller Moss, who hasn't played all year, he wouldn't play, and he was playing behind Caleb Williams, to have 2 or 3 weeks of prep and come out there, and he had tremendous amount of leadership. First of all, he had tremendous amount of command on the offense, and then he had a little bit of where he guys were rallying behind him, so that shows you that he has some leadership qualities in for the future. And I'm not really sure if he'll be starting next year, but I know his teammates that went to bat for him as far as being the starter next year, in the locker room. And you heard from Kyron Hudson, talked about, what he did and what it means to, for the future. And he thinks he should be the starter. Obviously, Lincoln Riley will decide that through an open competition. But I think he has more than a leg up as far as, being the starter going into the first season of the Big Ten for USC. And it was a very interesting game. I think USC did struggle last night and will struggle defensively up front. It's a small group. They don't play with a lot of technique. And I was just talking to Bill Bush about this. It's a very hard, I guess it for me, is when you can't tell the difference between a corner and a linebacker, you're in trouble. And that's where USC is in trouble as far as coming into the Big Ten. The mass up front and all that. I think when you look at USC defensively, unless they have a really, really good recruiting class and then obviously transfer portal class that can, go into the second opening of the transfer portal, they will struggle. Because if you compare USC up front, just their defensive tackles, defensive ends, and then you compare it to Washington and Oregon, when you watch them, it's totally different. The physicality isn't there. The technique isn't there. But they were able to squeak out a 14-point victory against a 15th ranked Louisville, and it was all predicated on a huge second quarter, 7-7 after the first quarter, and then they put up 21 points in the second quarter to go into halftime, 28-14, and essentially held serve after that. But let's not forget they gave up 161 yards rushing to the Louisville running back, and then you gave up 3 TDs as well. So it's one of those things that, yes, you won the game, but the optics of it did not look good at all. The other game that I had a good or really a keen eye on was 2 games actually: Oklahoma State against Texas A&M, and then obviously North Carolina against West Virginia. And the reason why I was watching the Texas A&M game is obviously they just fired their coach. Where you had players, talking about, Jimbo Fisher didn't let them wear sleeves, or you had to wear a certain type of uniform, trying to put some structure into their program. And then how would they react to having free reign? Well, they went out there and just got mollywopped. They were down 24-6 at halftime. Had a big third quarter, but ended up losing 31-23. Texas A&M looked flat out horrible, even though they showed some flashes, at times, but they didn't have anybody on their team that really showed anything besides Muhsin Muhammad III. And then also they didn't show any type of fight that you would like to see, or the energy that you'd like to see with a new coach watching, a new staff potentially being there. And then also a little bit more free reign. You played at essentially a home game, in Houston, Texas, because the reason why I say that, Houston is a big Texas A&M alumni city. You got beat on your home field by Oklahoma State team that just got embarrassed in the Big 12 championship game, and they were a little bit in transition. They came in and did whatever they want, throwing the ball, running the ball. So defensively, even though you lost a lot to the portal, the guys that were supposed to be behind them were supposed to be just as good as the guys that were starting. It wasn't a good look for Texas A&M. I think the problems at Texas A&M were and still are bigger than Jimbo Fisher. And I think last night was just a glimpse into what really is going on down there at College Station. The other game I wanted to really look at was West Virginia, right? Where you look at, they had a head coach on the hot seat, was a foregone conclusion that he would be gone by the middle of the season or the end of the season, ended the regular season at 8-4, get to the bowl game playing North Carolina without Drake May. North Carolina immensely talented, and West Virginia straight up just put the whooping down on them right from the get-go. 30-10 victory, shutout second half, even though they only had a 7-point lead going into halftime. So you think, okay, North Carolina's going to wake up. And look, this is a perfect example in the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina, where it should be essentially a home game away from home, and you get shut out in the second half. There was one team wanting to play that game, and that was West Virginia, and one team participating in that game, and that was North Carolina. So it was a little bit disappointing, but as we move on, you got some pretty good games tonight, and the one game I'm really interested to see, we're moving a little bit fast here, is coming up here, is Rutgers against Miami. Obviously have a little bit of Miami ties, but they're 7-5, Rutgers is 6-6. Can Rutgers get over that hump, figure into the bowl game after that? So, the one thing about Miami is how can they overcome that victory or that loss to Georgia Tech? I think they reeled after that. Yes, they got a couple wins after that, but I also think that that hurt them, and it actually hurt the ACC, because the reason why I think if Miami wins that game, they potentially could have been in the ACC championship, and that hurt the overall, I guess, look of the ACC, right? Where Florida State played, Louisville, and you took away the luster. You could have had a, Florida State, Miami number 2, and could have made, the Florida State victory against Miami a little bit more appealing to the people that, decided the college football playoff. So you look, every game's important, and it shows you, right there that you have to be able to go out there and play, and you got to go out there and execute, because if you don't, it could hurt not only yourself, right, directly, but indirectly, you could hurt your ACC and everything else that goes with it. So still bowls going on. SMU, Boston College really doesn't wet the whistle. The best game, I think, will come tonight before we go to break. Arizona against Oklahoma. Jed Fish, who has Arizona at 9 wins, going against Brett Venables, who was, I wouldn't say on the hot seat, but a little bit of a warm seat Oklahoma team. Obviously, Oklahoma lost Dylan Gabriel. Arizona's coming in fully loaded. Arizona's trying to get to their 4th 10-win season in 100 years, where Oklahoma had over 14 10-win seasons, I think, in the last 23 years, and I think it was 18-19. Oklahoma is a blue blood. 8:15 tonight, prime time, will be a great game down at the Alamo Bowl, and that's it, Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. So that's going to be probably the best game, I think, of today, and maybe the best game, including last night as well. So I'm excited to see that. So I'm going to pick Arizona. I think they're going to be ready to go and upset an Oklahoma team that's a little bit in flux with a new quarterback and a new offensive play caller. And I think this will be a signature season and a signature victory for Jed Fish. So with that being said, we're going to go to break again, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to tell you what Russell Wilson did at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and how it ended, and where he can go moving forward. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know the new Honda sales are going really good right now at Honda of Lincoln, and with that, a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in. Can you tell our listeners about your pre-owned selection?
I'm happy to, Charlie. Like you said, with new Honda sales going very good, we have a lot of fresh trade-ins coming in daily, and not just Hondas. We have just about every maker model you can imagine, with over 100 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, and prices starting at just $5,900.
Wow, what about financing?
We have financing as low as 3.29% APR on certified Accords and CRV.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3, get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy person in your life. Brown Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The Mill Coffee and Tea inside our 93.7 The Ticket studio is now open 7 days a week. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and Sundays, you can enjoy burritos, cinnamon rolls, fresh brewed coffee, delicious tea, or even their coffee and cream ale. Sold exclusively at the Ticket Mill location. Open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the weekends, right here at 1040 O Street in downtown Lincoln.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
I'm Sergeant Jones with the Nebraska State Patrol. Driving drunk puts everyone on the road at risk. In Nebraska, over 30% of all roadway fatalities occur in alcohol-related crashes, and every one of those could have been prevented. The decision to give your keys to a sober driver could be the decision that prevents a roadway tragedy. Help keep Nebraska roads safe and always drive sober. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
We're back. Short segment inside the huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging. This is Jay Foreman. Advanced Medical Imaging is located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. I can say that in my sleep. I've been there frequent in 2024 or 2023. We'll probably be there quite a few times in 2024. So the big news out of the NFL was Russell Wilson getting the hook from the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. The most interesting thing about this story is they had told Russell Wilson that they were moving on from him for 60 days ago after Denver upset the Kansas City Chiefs. A great game by Russell Wilson. And as soon as the game's over, like that Monday, you're going in there, probably riding high, thinking like, okay, we finally are connecting here. And they tell you they not only want you, they're going to move on from you because they want you to restructure your contract, meaning Russell Wilson's contract, to make concessions on his guaranteed contract or potential guarantee in 2025, which is probably the most ignorant and stupid thing that an NFL franchise could do, considering that the way the NFL is, you know, what have you done for me lately or done for me today or just actually a second ago? And the NFL stands for not for long. And it's a contract that was signed beforehand, and they would expect Russell Wilson to be in training camp and so forth and so on to uphold it. And then you're going to ask him essentially to potentially give away $37 million because you want some salary cap relief from a prior decision of a GM and head coach and somewhat of ownership prior. Is probably it's I would say it's ignorant, but it's pretty ballsy to go to a established Hall of Fame quarterback. I would say Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame player, even right now. If he decided to walk away today, I don't think he will. But it's pretty ballsy to do that. Now, it was 50-50 whether the relationship with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson would work. And here's why. This is what I talked about at the beginning. Sean Payton, after, leaving the New Orleans Saints, went right into the TV. Great on TV, a great coach, a very, very alpha, in-your-face type of personality, right? And he's used to Drew Brees, to where he took a system and developed and drafted and coached around Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees is very cerebral, had to be in Sean Payton's system, a match made in heaven, took Sean Payton to a Hall of Fame coach, took Drew Brees to a Hall of Fame player. So he has a little bit of revisionist history with Drew Brees. And then also he had some success with Tony Romo. But before, you got to think, he had the likes of like Kerry Collins and those type of scrubs, and he was a tight end coach. But the problem is when you're in the media, you start hearing the tea leaves of how Russell Wilson, was in the locker room in Seattle. That's his own doing, right? Wasn't a very good or accessible teammate, right? When you think of the likes of a potential Hall of Famer and Marshawn Lynch, a for sure Hall of Famer Richard Sherman, a very, very good, player in Cam Chancellor, and all the other guys in the Legion of Boom, and Bobby Wagner as well, Hall of Famer as well. Give a big shout out to Bobby Wagner. All those guys had the same assessment of Russell Wilson. Wasn't one of the guys, felt like he was above everybody else, really wasn't a good teammate. The leadership wasn't there and all that stuff. So you're hearing that from a media standpoint. All the coaches stay together, or not stay together, but they all know each other, stick together, so forth and so on. And now, so Sean Payton gets to Denver with already, I always say he showed up to the movie with his Rotten Tomatoes assessment already kind of somewhat written. And then obviously you hear about the first year in Denver, Russell Wilson had an office, wasn't accessible from any of the coaches, couldn't get to him, none of the players could talk to him. And so you show up with that. Sean Payton strips him of that, didn't have his trainer with him. Russell Wilson also had an extra room when he traveled. All this type of stuff, to where Russell Wilson, to be honest with his own doing, was a prima donna. I will say that. And he was flat out of control with it. But I will tell you this. There was nobody to regulate Russell Wilson. So that's on them. And so the fact that they let him get away with it, do you blame Russell or do you blame the organization? Plenty of blame to go around. But here comes a head coach that's going to do it his way. You're there. He has a lot of control, and you need him as much as he needs you. Or actually, Russell Wilson needed him in this year more than Sean Payton needed Russell Wilson, because Sean Payton knew that he's going to be there for as long as he'd like, or as long as he shows improvement. So that's where they're at. Then the worst thing for Russell Wilson happened. You start out playing like garbage. So then, therefore, everybody knew when you didn't start fast, and that's what you need to do. You got to win over Sean Payton. You got to win over the GM. You got to win over the powers that be. You got to win over the new ownership, because essentially Sean Payton was handpicked by the owner, and they gave up draft capital with him. It was over for Russell Wilson. But give it Russell Wilson credit. He went back to work, got better, and what did he do? He ended up beating the Kansas City Chiefs in an upset victory, and guess how he got rewarded? Coming right in that next Monday to be told that we need you to restructure your contract, and we need you to make everything better for us, even though you know right now that we're going to cut you next year. Russell Wilson said we can't do it. It got to the point that they got into a heated discussion. How do you get in a heated discussion with a player because he doesn't want to, give you relief on a contract that he had signed, right? They started off the season losing to the Raiders, right? Which is almost like a double loss. Lost a close game to the Commanders. Got destroyed against the Dolphins, 70-20. Came back and beat the Bears. Lost to the Jets, right? Without Aaron Rodgers. Lost to Kansas City. Then you beat Green Bay. You turn around and beat the brakes off the Chiefs. Go to Buffalo, beat my Buffalo Bills. Turn around, beat the Vikings. Beat one of the best teams in the AFC Central and one of the hottest teams right now in the Cleveland Browns. Turn around, lose to the Texans, right? Where it took an extraordinary effort by C.J. Stroud. Okay, deal with that. Turn around, beat the brakes off the Chargers, and then this is where the bottom fell out. You play the Detroit Lions and lose 42-17, and everybody saw what happened where the Denver Broncos essentially snapped the ball before you could challenge it. Sean Payton went off on Russell Wilson. The right guard's off. They always say crap goes downhill. And Russell Wilson not only got an earful from Sean Payton, but any respect that he had in that locker room was gone. Now, I don't know if the locker room knew about after the Kansas City game, after the 24-9 victory, that they asked him to take a pay cut essentially, or they were going to essentially make him inactive throughout the rest of the season, which is a bold threat anyways. I don't know if the locker room knew it, but it didn't affect Russell Wilson, for 3 or 4, or let me see, after that 1, 2, 3 victories, essentially had the Houston game in hand, and then essentially 5 or 6 victories in a row. But it came to a head against the Lions. You knew it was over. And then last week they lost to the Patriots 26-23. I would argue 23 points is more than enough to beat the Patriots. But then Russell Wilson, is benched because you need a spark on offense. And Sean Payton has to, give you the company line. We're trying to get a spark on offense. We're really trying to win. They ain't trying to win. They're just getting rid of Russell Wilson right now because they want to make sure that he doesn't get hurt. So his 2025 contract isn't fully guaranteed for $37 million. Here's the funny thing about it. You know that they're cutting Russell Wilson in the offseason. He has $39 million guaranteed, no matter what. And so they're saving another 37 because they feel like it's a bad contract. But also what they didn't, I guess, take into account is how you look when you do business with an NFL player, how you treated Russell Wilson. Now, listen, Russell Wilson didn't do himself any favors, but he did himself a favor this year. And he also did himself a really good favor is when he ran off those 5 games in a row, essentially almost 7 games in a row with 1 loss in between. He did himself a favor. He rejuvenated his career. He rejuvenated what people thought about him. The stats, over 3,000 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. You talk about a comeback in a not ideal situation, offensive line injuries, and no established running back, and wide receivers have yet to gel with Russell Wilson to the point of Jerry Jeudy being that alpha 1A receiver versus Sutton's coming on. Tight end position has been plagued by injuries, and defense, obviously early in the year has been really, really suspect, but defense is playing well right now. How you treated Russell Wilson sent shockwaves through the NFL. That's where Denver messed up. It's business, but you still can handle business accordingly. And I will tell you like this, to end the note, what could Russell Wilson have done? What Russell Wilson could have done when Sean Payton got in his face, let him know he still has that ninja in him. And if you don't know what that means, you have to use Google or get on Urban Dictionary. The reason why, Russell Wilson, as a quarterback, as a Hall of Famer, as a respected football player on the field, can get back in the face of a coach that really dressed him down, that went a little bit overboard and was disrespectful. I love Sean Payton. I respect Sean Payton. This isn't a shot at Sean Payton. And if I was Russell Wilson, I would have been right back up in his face with my helmet off, and we'd have been nose to nose. We'd have been like 2 Brahma bulls locking up there, because what it would have done, it would have showed those guys on that team that you were in it to win it, and you saw another side of Russell that you have to sometimes bring out. The reason why is I played for a coach that was definitely in your face. I was a new starter. We had the same type of situation where he was maybe coaching other players through me, and I was in a contract year. I knew I thought they were going to sign me back. They didn't. I found that they weren't. And he just went a little bit too far, and the M&F came out. I don't know how my helmet got off that quick, but I literally was nose to nose with the head coach at the time. But here's the funny thing about it. There was FUs going back. There was a little bit of a chest bump, but you know what? After cooler heads prevailed, we hugged it out. And it's a dude, every time I see him, I dap up with him. Sometimes you have to take the respect that you think you deserve by doing something that you normally don't do. So that's a good thing to end on Inside the Huddle. Jay Foreman, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Look for it in 2024, 12-1, Monday and or Fridays moving forward. We appreciate the support. Like, retweet. We have a Twitter account that we'll start posting stuff with. Again, thanks for your support.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd